you can plan, you can um, try to say what you're going to do, you can say what you're not going to do. You can say you can have everything you need to protect yourself, but when it comes to that moment, you could make the wrong decision and it can cost you your life. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And as y'all guys know, I am the person who likes to bring everything to light in the community because of the fact that I feel as though if nobody talks about it, then people um may either get the wrong opinion from the people who are talking about it, who may not speak it in a way where it sounds intelligent and to other people, or they may not talk about it at all. You need something? Yeah, the TV isn't working. All right, restart it. Give me one. I got it. Restart it for a second. Um, or give me the hour real quick. I actually see my little man in the background. Um, I'm going to. I was trying to put this on the other stream. Unfortunately, it didn't work. So we're here, and what we're going to talk about today is PrEP. We're going to talk about the HIV risk of in the travel community, as far as not just any place in particular, but I'm hopefully going to have a guest. Shout out to Ice City 510, who's also going to go into a conversation about his experiences taking PrEP and why and what what came across and everything like that. Now this, I'll tell you, I'm gonna play a video for you guys before we start this. I just want to get some people with some chance to join in the room. I want to play a video for you guys, and I'm not gonna tell you what the video is. I'm just gonna play it. And you guys watch it, and I think it's important that I have this in the beginning of the live. So let me share the screen for you guys real quick. Window, this video right here. And if you're watching this video towards the if you're watching this video in the replay, I'll leave the description for this video and the other videos like it that I've watched to get the information, because I feel as though before you could talk about a concept, something that's like bigger than yourself, then you need to do the research. And I've done a lot of research. I've actually just came from my doctor today about starting the PrEP, and I'll get more into what PrEP is and all that stuff after you watch the video, and then after a while I'll bring I hope hopefully I could bring because I have never really invited anybody on my channel on from the YouTube thing. Usually it's like StreamYard or something, but I'm using the YouTube thing and I know you can invite somebody there. So we're gonna let's watch this video and then we'll discuss it later. All right. So let me make sure you guys can see the video. You can see the video? All right, cool. Turn the volume all the way up, and then we are going to press play.
2018 consists of a husband, Jordan Davis. I have 3 kids, 7, 5, and 4 months. I have a degree in business management. I have a really good job. I'm a buyer, so I work in like supply chain. So it's a growing industry. I got a really good opportunity fresh out of college.
My concerns initially entered into the relationship were how could I continue a relationship and not contract what you have? How can we continue to live together? Um, the views from my family, I thought about that. The views from my friends, what they would think. Um, thought about things that what do I have to do as for myself to stay protected, and what could we do together to in a relationship wise behind. I really didn't have to think long and hard about it. I always wanted to be with Jessica back when we met the first time. Told her don't leave me, but she left me anyway. But now she's here, so that's all that matters. But now, tell you the truth, I didn't have to think long and hard about it. Not to say that I'm a risk taker. I accepted the challenge, and it's. I thought more of there's people with a lot less. They go through a lot more, as well as there's people with a lot more that go through a lot less. who am I? The great thing in life is that as long as she's doing what she needs to do, we're both protected. Um, she takes one pill a day. I, in return, take one preparatory pre-exposure pill every day. Um, Two reasons I take that. One is to protect myself, even though I'm not going to say I don't have to, but as long as her count is low, I won't get infected. But on the other hand, I take the medicine, so she's not taking medicine alone. We can both do this together. Um,
I think that's enough. I just so shout out to them. I'll post a link after this video is up in the description. So let's get to the conversation, y'all. I'm gonna shout everybody out in the room, and then we're gonna start this conversation. I know a lot of people in the other live that I gotta delete later on, but let me stop this right here. Stop sharing, and we can get to y'all comments, you get y'all questions, and we'll start the talk. I'm also going to try to see grabbing some food right now. All right, let me know. Ready. And again, I'm trying to. I felt as though Ice City would be a good person to collab with this one because Ice City has been preaching the prep thing from his perspective for as long as I've watched his channel. And I did have some questions to it, and eventually I said, you know what, the best way to do it is to do research online. And the more and more I got into research online, I started watching other people's stories, like the people on different stories that had HIV or the doctors and what they were saying about it. I said, you know what, let me go consult my doctor, my family practices doctor, and go check out and see what's going on. So let me shout you guys out, and then we get into what I've learned from talking to my doctor and what my plan to move forward, and why I think even before that whole conversation about me talking to my doctor, I'm going to give you guys some of my stories of my scares over the course of I'm 41. I've been knocking stuff down for since 13. So let's just say over my 20 plus years, the risk I've had, the worries I've had, and even my of late recent scare before I went and got tested myself. Shout out to Kato in the building. What up? What up? What up? What up? Shout out to Jason Motorsport in the building. Don't ask why, just check him out. Collect, guys. Salute. Man, listen, you got to push forward if you want to. I felt like this topic, while it doesn't really touch. I mean, while it doesn't really not a topic I'm speaking from because I've had 2 tests. I just got my and I'll tell you guys later. I got my first test when I got back from Africa. I'll tell you the story about that scare, and I got my recent test 2 months after I just got back from Cali, Colombia, which I'll tell you about that scare. And we'll get into more about this topic, but I think it's definitely needed, man. It's definitely a topic that needed to be talked about. Travel POV says I take prep when I travel. We'll get into that information too because my doctor, like I said, told me there's 2 different ways, and this is a medical expert who 2 different ways that you can take prep. I've seen something online about a shot, but I'm not going to talk too much about the shot simply because my doctor didn't really click when I asked him about the shot. But the other 2 ways I get you guys to. Shout out to Chicken Burrito in the building. What's going on? What is the side effects of the prep? We'll get into the side effects of the prep, but let's first tell people what the prep is. Right now, we're just introducing the topic, letting people join the room, and just shouting everybody out. When we get to the end of the list of people in the room, we'll start talking about my STD scare stories of this year, and then we'll get into me going on the prep regimen as I speak. Let's see. Does the chat believe that if he was positive, she would have the same grace with him being a mother of 3? I really that's not the no. It's probably no, but that doesn't really change what the conversation is based on. That's a personal thing between women and men, and it's obviously going to be no because women are going to explore the options. Angel, what's going on, man? What's going on, Garcia? Sunday Night Smoke in the building. Sunday Night Smoke podcast in the building. V Schwells, what up? What up? What up? Travel POV says my doctor won't give me the shot either. And again, salute to Ice. We got to the end of it. All right, y'all. So I guess the best way while we wait for Ice City to show up, I gotta see how I can share. How do I don't even know if I can how I invite people, to be honest with y'all, because I don't know if I had to set up the invite to this thing. Man, I don't know if I set up the invite because I don't have the invite to get chest thing. Access to this feature, don't have access to this feature. We gotta see. I don't know. May have to cut out and bring ice in on the other half on another live on another stream. So we'll focus on this. We're here. We'll see. All right. So what made me really think and decide to start taking prep is this year I had 2 scares. Now, when I say I had 2 scares, I mean I never had a woman say that I gave her anything, and I never had a woman say that she had something or that the doctor said she had something this whole year. But myself, I'm a thinking person, so I always try to pin stuff together, figure things out. When I was in Africa, um, it being my first time in Ghana, on the continent, it was a time where I felt like I let myself go. I brought like three or four different packs of condoms. Actually, I was in Ghana in December, all the way to the 6th or 7th of January. So I brought condoms. I brought like 4 boxes of condoms. I felt like I was gonna be there for 2 weeks. I was every day. And I spoke to a lot of women I met. Actually, all the women I met, I had met them in advance. So I met most of them on Tinder. I met all of them on Tinder, but I had met them in advance. I had, had conversations. I told you which one I was set up with. I went all behind the scenes. I did all that, and I was like, cool. So when I first got there, the first woman I knocked down, was a model, and in my head, I'm like, we've talked for a while. She's a model. She was really slim. Hey, let's have some fun. So we had some fun. The first time, used the condom. She stayed over, rolled over again, got some head, stuck it in raw a little bit, used the condom to nut. Woke up in the morning, I just rolled over and just shot the club up. Now I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, you shouldn't think like that," but in the heat of the moment, things happen that way, y'all. That's just the way things happen. I rolled over in the morning and I just shot it up. Then I'm like, "Oh shit." And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, but she's a model. She's not going to do that. I'm like, she's skinny, though. But that don't really mean nothing because she does model. She's tall. And I feel as though even before the fact that we did, have our fun, I feel as though because I was honest with her, because I was direct with her, I feel like as if you're a genuine person and you give genuine responses even before and after you smash, I feel like people will be honest with you. And that's always been my experience. But I understand that's not the way the world works. But for me, that's the way the world has worked for me up to this point, even as we speak right now. So that was that, right? Boom. Model, boom. I was like, we're gonna hang out again. We hung out a couple more times. Every other time after we hung out, splashing inside. Cool. So then I met a second girl. Now, the second woman I met was a twin, and she came with her twin sister. She was cool, but I knew she's an influencer. She had a lot of followers. She wore the high class stuff. So I knew whatever she was involved in was with a higher class of guys. She wasn't with the on the street picking up guys. She never had asked me for money. She dressed up, wore nice clothes, body fit, also slim from Nigeria, from a Christian family. And her name and her sister's name, and I won't say no names of them, but they were both like really, really Christian name, Catholic names. This one, I don't know. I don't even think I even pulled the condom out. And all she said was just don't nut in me. That's all she said. But I still did. I still did. But she wasn't sweating it. She just like, just give me some money for a pill and we good. Cool. All right. So now I'm 2 in. Now it does go over some days, so it wasn't like back-to-back days. It was about 3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe in between. But now I'm back on my phone. Y'all, the light flickering. I'll try to fix the light. Yeah. Oh well. Dang. Well, so now I'm back to back with 2 Raws. At least the first one I tried, but it didn't work out. The second one I didn't even try. It was my fault. I was so thrilled by how much of a turn on she was. See, some people they get turned on by the attractiveness. I don't get turned on by the attractiveness of a girl, of a woman. I get turned on by how she interacts with me, her emotionality, how she bonds with me, and that just made me explode inside her twice. So that goes away. Still, I'm not feeling any kind of sensations, nothing. I don't feel nothing wrong. Now we're about a week into being in Ghana, and it's New Year's Day. It's New Year's Day, and I get a call from a woman who I was going to hang out with, but I end up hanging out hanging out again with the model. But I was going to hang out with her, but on New Year's Day, like mind you, New Year's Day on the 31st. I mean, my fault. New Year's Eve, the 31st is when I had the twin, right? New Year's Day, after I left the New Year's party, I linked up with another woman, and this woman is probably the woman who I had the strongest bond with. The model was strong too, but this woman is the woman I had the strongest bond with, spent multiple days with me, and she even stayed with me. My flight got canceled, and I had to stay longer. I think I nutted in her on purpose, trying to get her pregnant, like at least 4 times over a course of 2 days. So it wasn't just one day. It was over a course of 2 days, 3 days, four times. Bang, 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 bang. Matter of fact, she wasn't the next one. In between the other days, there was another one. Now, this girl was rough. She was Nigerian and Ghanaian, half and half. But you could tell she had a rough upbringing. Rough meaning I think her mother passed away. She lived with her father in Nigeria, and then she came back to Ghana to live with her grandmother. She had some things that happened to her when she was younger. So we kind of built a connection off of life experiences, and she was willing to be on camera, willing to do dances and all that stuff. And the first night when we was on the beach, looking at the water, having fun, I got drunk. I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm getting drunk. I'm in Ghana on the Ivory Coast. There's nobody on this beach. I'm right on the property I'm staying. I could go touch the water where the boats is at. I was just in the zone, like just this ample time. So I just came and just like boop boop boop, shot the club up, and went on with the rest of my night because I had to film some content. Again, this is why my story is so accepted, I guess, because I'm genuine. I'm gonna be real about everything. So now I'm 4 different women in. All of them shot the club up. Multiple times on all of them except the model. The model, I think the first time it was only one shot in the morning. That one shot in the morning. At this point, I wasn't even thinking about what could possibly happen coming back. I was just so focused on it, on just experience and enjoying myself. So that's 4 in. And then I met a pregnant woman. I don't mean she was 4 months pregnant. I don't mean she was 5 months pregnant. I mean she was like 8 months pregnant, 8.5 months pregnant. She was about like 3 weeks out from having a baby. And in my head, I'm like, she's 3 months out from having a baby. The baby father is actually an American dude that just disappeared after like coming to see her one time pregnant. I even felt bad and gave her some money, like, yo, this is not us. And he's an American black guy. I'm like, this is not how us American black guys act. That's just the one that you got. You know what I'm saying? It's not how we act. Hey, I know he ain't leaving no money for your kid. Here, take this like, I don't know, relatively like what, $80, $90, something like that. And go get what you got to get. She cried because she wasn't expecting that. It's crazy. And then before that, no, this is after the sex. I gave that to her after the sex, like, and then but after, like, when we did our thing, of course she was pregnant. I didn't even reach for a condom. So again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I make the best decisions. I'm just saying I'm human. So when I came back, I still didn't. I got back to the States. I didn't think about nothing. Now, I had knocked down 5 different women unprotected. I had knocked down 5 different women unprotected. And mind you, I still had my married woman who I sleep with here, who I used to sleep with here. I no longer sleep with my married woman anymore. We broke it. I broke it off with her because I got my last negative test, my non-reactive test, and I was like, I don't want to ever put her through that risk again because I really love her. I just don't. I don't. And if you love somebody, you're not going to put them through that risk again. Even with the prep, I say, because I know right now I'm looking to have a kid in Colombia. I'm not even gonna put her through that risk. And she's like, well, we can wear condoms. I'm like, yeah, but no. So I get back from Africa. Everything is smooth. And all of a sudden, I'm scrolling through the model page, and I see her in a hospital with an IV like a week later. She didn't send me any emails. She didn't send me any WhatsApp messages. You know how they do. I'm sick, Poppy. Send me some money. She ain't doing any of that. But I see it on this, so I'm looking. And I send her a WhatsApp message with a question mark. You okay? She don't respond. 2 days later, she responds and says, yes, I had to go to the hospital. I was in the hospital. I was in a hospital for a couple days because something happened to me and I was losing a lot of weight and something. I didn't understand. She said it was something that she had before, but in my head, I'm like, wait, what? And I didn't want to ask her, yo, was you in there for this? Was you in there for AIDS? Was you in there for HIV? I didn't even want to ask her that, but my head went wondering. I was just going far off the road. So then I got some messages from the one who I said who had a wild childhood, sending me messages like, oh, I don't feel good. I didn't have my lady didn't come yet. I don't feel good. But and at the time, I would normally think, oh, this is just a money grab. But right after back to back, after seeing the girl who was in the hospital who didn't even ask for me money, saying that, in my head, I'm freaking out. So now I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out. Now, for those that don't know, once you have unprotected sex, the symptoms of HIV wouldn't show up would show up between 2 and about 6 weeks, right? It would show up between 2 and about 6 weeks. So you would have some symptoms. Most people, like I think like 70% of people have symptoms between 2 and 6 weeks. So I'm freaking out because if I get tested before that, it may not show up. So I'm freaking out. I was scared. I was doing all the research. This is how I found some of these videos I showed you guys right now, because I was doing the research. I was trying to figure out when can I get tested? How long would it be okay? How long will it take before I know for certain? And the closest thing I could get was saying, hey, you have to take a blood test and it has to be over 4 weeks from when you had your last sexual encounter unprotected. So that next 3 to 4 weeks, I was stressed. It's the second most stressed I've ever been about catching something or possibly catching something or something like that. The second most stressed I've ever been. I had gonorrhea before and I had chlamydia before when I was like 20, in my 20s. So I finally go and I accept and say, you know what? I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, yo, if you really messed up, this is on you, but you've lived a hell of a life. I see it as there is a big stigma to people having HIV and AIDS, and there's no way that's going to ever change because the world is just not that way. And so the way I seen, even with that stigma, was like, yo, if this happens to me, my life is over as far as being able to go out and sleep with other women, aside from women who already have the virus. So I went and took the test, and I took the blood test. So it was 6 weeks after. No, it was 6 weeks. 6 weeks after I had got back. So I took it towards March, I believe. I took it in February. I took like the second week or third week of February. I took the test. Now, the way the blood test works is that they test you for everything. But the HIV during the blood test usually is like the last thing that comes in the what's name. So as the next week or 3 days, because like the business isn't open on the weekends. So basically, I took the test on a Thursday. Thursday I didn't get an answer. Friday I didn't get an answer. Saturday I didn't get an answer. Monday I got all the results except for the HIV test. I got everything negative, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, herpes. All that stuff was negative. And then the next day came, and the HIV test came back non-reactive. For those that don't know, non-reactive is actually the terminology, because negative means that you could have had it and it's just not present in your system anymore if you take the pills like the woman was taking. But non-reactive means there's no reaction of it. And so I almost cried. And I was like, yo, I never again will do this again. I won't do this ever again, because that was the scariest I ever been in my life. Because automatically, as a United States citizen, we usually think if it's people, a lot of we unfortunately unignorantly think that a lot of people in Africa have AIDS. That's what we think. We think Africa AIDS, Africa HIV. So of course that's the one thing that was swirling in my mind the whole time. I'm like, damn, I knew it, and I still just didn't protect myself. And I was like, damn, this shit crazy. This shit crazy. I'm like, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, so shout out to V Swell. V Swell says this all the time. You can't cry about it when you sign up for it. Once you sign up for it, you can't cry about it. So I composed myself, and I said, this is how I'm going to move forward if I get the negative information that I have HIV or something. This is how I'm going to move forward. I'm going to my son already has a house. My daughter's already going to have a house. I already got money and everything played out. I'm going to sell my place in Miami, and I'm going to get everything so that nobody has to worry about anything like when I pass away. I already got my will written out. I don't have a trust yet. I'm still working on stuff like that, but I'm going to get everything played out just in case. When the negative results came back, I was good. Listen, first, luckily, I got banned off of Tinder, so I stopped using Tinder. Mind you, this is in February, y'all. I stopped using Tinder. I got banned off of Tinder, so I stopped using Tinder. I got Bumble. Bumble has, in my opinion, Bumble has a higher class of women that aren't as wild as in Tinder. Sex doesn't come as fast all the time, and a lot of them, they still have their joints on Bumble. But so I got on Bumble, and from February, listen, for a person who has sex every month, many times with different women, not in the States, but when I travel, from February to August, February to March, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July, 6 months, I only had sex with 3 women. And one of the women was the married woman I had been sleeping with for the longest. And the other woman was protected one time. So that told you how scared I really was from my experience I had in Africa. And I thought I had control. And that, of course, I'm not. People would say it's a sex addict, but it's not a sex addict, because I went 6 months only having sex with 3 women. It's not a sex addict. It's just in the moment making a wrong decision sometimes. So I get to August. Now I'm going to Cali, Colombia. Again, I pack the condoms. When I get to the Airbnb, is an extra condom wrapper that somebody extra condom box unopened that somebody else left in the Airbnb. I'm like, oh, that's a sign. Oh, we're gonna wrap it up. First night had a great woman that I had met the year before. Now the year before I hadn't smashed a girl. I had just got some top. Of course, top is the risk of HIV getting top very difficult. Even the risk of getting herpes from HIV is very, very low, less than 1%, I believe, because of the fact that how it's transmitted, unless they have like sores and stuff or they just had it. So the year before, I had just got head from her. This year, she was like, you know what, we can have sex, but you got to wear a condom. So I'm kissing her. I'm like, yo, I know you from last year, yada yada. Bad, good, joint, boy. I had the condom in my hand. I was kissing her. I slid it in just the feel of it. I showed her the condom. I put the condom down. Nigga. I looked at myself like, nigga, what is you doing? What is you doing? This don't make no sense. You went 6 months and only had 3 joints. You already got some top from this girl last year. She's telling you about the condom. Why you got the condom in your hand, but you going in raw? Bop, 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 splash. Because in my head, I'm thinking, damn, I wouldn't mind having a kid with her. I wouldn't. She got a kid already. I wouldn't mind having a kid with her. And that's the only thing that got me like, yo, damn. Not thinking to the point where I was right there. I didn't have the power to look at the condom and just put it on and just go. So I shot the club up. We had sex another time. I think we might not have. Yeah, I think we did have sex another time. And I think I didn't use a condom either. It's weird. It's fucking weird. So then, the next day, I meet this. God, man, I've had a lot of, I've had a lot of wet box in my life, but there's only four that to me, and I can't even say five, four that was top wet box I've ever had. It's a woman in my high school years named June. It was this other joint, little chunky joint. It was, oh my God, one of my exes and this girl that I just met in Colombia. This girl, I'm not gonna say the names, but you know. Small, short, skinny. You would not think that the box that came with this small, tiny package was that wet. And she was so. And here's the thing, it's not the sex. It's not how thick a woman is that it gives me the woo woo woo. It's a woman's sex appeal, how she talks, how her body movements is. Now, when I tell you this woman was sexual, I should have had an idea of the guys, the caliber of guys that she can get, simply because she came with the new Nikes on. She had an outfit on. You could tell she was getting money, and she didn't work. And she said she gets like $4 million a month. She used to date an NBA player. She used to date a musician. Like, I seen the NBA player. I seen a musician. I don't know him, but white guy. But I seen the NBA player. I didn't know that white NBA player, but I looked online. Sure enough, was an NBA player. And she lived with him. Like, he brought up. So you can imagine how crazy this box was. So she came over first day. We just did an interview. We didn't do anything. And then she came over again, bruh. I think the box was so wet. Not only did I not use a condom, any of the times we slept together, and we slept a lot. We did a lot. Any of the times. But I shot the club up every time. Every time. And I don't say that to brag. I don't say that to make sense of anything. Crazy thing is, imagine imagine shooting the club up, right? And then, like, when you get back home, getting like 4 different messages from guys saying, yo, I was just with it here. And then your boy say, yo, I bagged her too on the boulevard. I just didn't get time to hit her up. So, at that point, when we get back home, we'll get to more discussion of that. But that's how crazy it was. Then I had then I met the woman who probably had the most sex appeal I've ever seen. I don't know what it was about her, but her whole vibe was so dope. Black Colombian. Her vibe was so dope, and I mean, to this day, not only was that the best vibe I've had with her in Colombia, not in Cali, Colombia, not in Colombia in general, because San Andreas was probably a better vibe. But that's not just the best vibe I had in any time in Cali, Colombia, but it's top 3 where her vibe, how I met her, Afro-Colombian, black, dark, chocolate, energetic. She liked to laugh. She liked to dance. She liked to do all the stuff that I just normally do. She was the person who I am as a woman. Like, as a man, she was the woman me. Like, just her energy, her jovialness. We didn't have to speak language. I speak Spanish, but it was just there. And I was like, damn. I kind of didn't even cross my mind at all. And it apparently didn't cross her mind either. And that night, that morning, she cooked, she cleaned, She cleaned the pool. She just sat there with an interview. She was okay with being on camera. If I go back, or when I go back to Colombia, I don't know if I'll fly her out to Medellin, because I do got some connections in Medellin. But wherever, if I'm not focused on, because my San Andreas, the woman I want to have a kid with in the San Andreas, is on a boat right now doing a cruise, working on a cruise. If I go anywhere, I would fly her out. She has kids though. And the way my mind thinks, here's how it works. I'm just telling you guys a story. We'll get to the prep and stuff. You got to build up the story so people can understand before you get to the talk of how I got to wanting to use in prep, to start in prep. What is that? I think Ice might have hit me up. I said ready. Let me see if I can add Ice to the chat. Because I want to add Ice. Because I don't want to have to start over again. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I hope I didn't have to do it from the start, man. I'm sorry. I gotta check real quick to see if I can how do I share this what's the name? Because YouTube doesn't 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna have to tell you, give me 20 minutes and I'll come back live with the other video on it right here. Cancel that. Let me see. Share. How do I add? Hold on a second. Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how I add. We're gonna get back to the story, y'all. Members only live stream news. Schedule your live to switch to members only. No schedule. Start a question and handle poll. No, that's not it. All right, Ice. I'm gonna have to start a new stream and do this with you later. Pause. Channel live settings. Give me a second, y'all. Pop out dashboard. Share, invite. I'm just trying to look to see how I do this, man. All right, so Ice, I'm gonna have to share this. I'm gonna have to share it. Hold on 1 second, y'all. That's Ice. Yo, for whatever reason, I can't invite to stream. I don't know why it's not letting me do it from this one. I probably gotta start from the thing. So I'm gonna end the stream at 8 o'clock, and then you and I are gonna start a part 2 to the stream where we discuss more personal stuff. All right. So just give me like how much? Give me 14 minutes and I'll finish the stream. Oh shucks. Yo, for whatever reason I can't I don't know, the invite button is not up here, so I can't send you an invite. But give me 14 minutes and I'm going to end this stream. We're going to start a new stream. We're talking about the exact same thing. All right, y'all. So let me speed the process up a little bit. And if you're in this chat right now, we'll end this stream and we'll start another stream on the same channel. So again, this is how amazing this woman was. She has 2 kids. And in my head, I'm like, a woman with 2 kids is not going to. That's just how, you know how you deductive read, how you make stuff sound good. Like she got 2 kids. I shouldn't have to worry that she has HIV or AIDS or herpes or something like that. She's gonna get to me. And her vibe was all cool. She wasn't drunk. She didn't want to drink when we was in the club. So this is stuff that some people say that doesn't make none sense. But this is something I computed to me, and I could just have fun. So we had fun. Again, morning time, nighttime, shot the club up both times. Also had some of the wettest box I've ever had. And that's something about, I was just so into her being like chocolate, like darker than me, energy. It was so dope, bro. And then they left. So now we're at 1, 2, 3 splashes. Still, again, I know I'm a controlled man. Trust me, I'm one of the most calculated men ever. I'm a black kid from Newark, New Jersey, who grew up during the crack epidemic, who went to public school and private school, who had a loving mother, but whose mother was in and out the mental institution, who didn't have a father, but had a grandfather that showed me business, and who went from, we was never in poverty. We was always, I'd say, lower middle class, but I never had a struggle for a meal. But I went from that to a 30, a 30, 35, 36-year-old millionaire who travels the world, who collects art from around the world, who raised a kid, who bought 2 houses that I can give to my kids, who had a condo on the beach in the water in Miami, who used to sit in the jacuzzi. So trust me, when I say I am one of the most calculated people there is, like, everyone has their demons. I don't drink much. If I drink, I'm on vacation with my homies, or I'm taking a shot with a woman, but it's rare. Anybody knows me know that's what it is. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. I don't do drugs. I don't drive fast and take risks like that anymore. So, but my drug is not, and I'm not even addicted to sex, so that's not even a drug. It's the not making the right decisions at the last minute when it comes to sex. I know my demons, and that's just one of my demons. Um, Luckily, I didn't end up with any super crazy baby mothers. Lucky I didn't end up with any STDs that I can't get rid of. Trust me, I've slept with so many women. I don't understand how that's possible, except just I'm a genuine person, and I don't know how it's possible because I've slept with over 1,000 women. Yes, I've had gonorrhea 2 times, chlamydia once, or maybe the vice versa. I slept with over 1,000 women. I don't know how it's possible, but for whatever, and I'm not really religious. I'm not religious, but for whatever reason, I just think now is the time not to test it anymore, which is the reason why I'm deciding to go in prep. I decided to start taking prep. So just to finish off the Colombia trip, there end up so the 2 times I was able to control, the 3 times I was able to control myself on this trip was because, one, the woman I picked her up from the how do I say this without getting demonetized? I picked her up from the place where you pick up women that you want to have fun with. So she was on a put a condom on thing. So that was one. The other one was an older woman older woman that I knew a friend, and she was also on the put a condom on thing. And the third one and the final one was the woman who had allegedly scoped a lot of guys, and I had got the warning from one of my cool friends who also is a YouTube content creator from his friend. And because I got that warning and I seen so many pictures, I said, you know what? It's easy. It's going to be easy to wrap it up. So that and I did get top without wrapping it up, because that just doesn't, to me, it just, yeah, come on, let's be realistic. That's probably never going to happen. So I did get top, but it was easy for me to get up when she was getting ready to sit on me, have some fun, and go get the condom, because in the back of my mind, I kind of got an idea maybe of what character she was. So it was easy for me to go get up in the middle of the thing and get a condom. But that's not an everyday thing. So when I got back, I didn't think of nothing. Cool. First week, second week, no feelings. But the issue is that, for those that don't know, I'm 41 years old. My body doesn't operate the same way it operated when I was 30, or when I was 20, or when I was 35. While I was in Colombia and Cali, I was doing a live stream. Shout out to Mentuition, shout out to G, shout out to Kobe, shout out to Brother King's Dreams, A1 Day One, everyone that was there. They'll attest to the fact that I only slept 9 hours across 7 days. I slept for 9 hours. I never really told people this, but I have bradycardia. So, like, for those that don't know, what that means is that when I go to sleep, my resting heart rate is so low that it could flatline. But it also makes you fatigued if you don't get the correct amount of sleep. And I never knew that. But you'll feel weak sometimes. And because of the 9 hours, the circadian rhythm of my heart, and because of when I got back, I went to straight editing. And I do it all the time. But I never really spent that much time up. It was a cold, I say week when I was so fatigued that my face felt like it was pulling down. My whole face felt like it was pulling down. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Now, mind you, this doesn't happen until um this doesn't happen until like 5 or 6 weeks into 5 or 6 weeks into when I came back. And then I started getting messages from the girl saying, "Oh, I'm sick. I gotta go to the doctor." Now, at this time, with the fatigue that I've never felt in my life, and with her saying that, I couldn't even comprehend like I normally would that. Oh, this is it. She's probably running a scam. I'm like, nah, but I gave you money for the pill, so that's all on you. She's like, oh yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So then I start kind of like stalking her page to find out what's going on, and I didn't see a post nothing new. I'm like, shit. So then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, now I'm going back. I'm like, who could it have been? And in my head, I'm like, what's going on with me? So then you start going using Google. You start using Google doctor. You go on Google and you start trying to figure out what disease or what symptoms you have that involve stuff. And the symptoms I had was, mind you, the bed that I had was messing me up too because it broke before I left. I mean, it broke. So my back was feeling crazy. Like I had a stiff neck. My back was feeling crazy. And on top of that, I was super slug. So guess what I put in? Joint pain, fatigue, symptoms, STD, question mark. First one that came up, HIV. I was wild panic, bro. I'm like, ain't no way. So now I'm going back. How could this have happened? It wasn't the dark one because I see the dark one still posting happy poachers and all this stuff. It couldn't have been the one with the wet, but it could have because she told me she was sick, but maybe not. So what the heck? What the heck? So I'm panicking. I'm like, I know it couldn't have been the scope one because I used the condom. I just got some head. You know what I mean? So now I'm panicking. And one thing that I'll tell you is that stress leads to anxiety. I've never had an anxiety attack to my knowledge, but I think I either had one or to the point where I literally went a whole night and I could not sleep. Never did it in my life. So now I guess what I do in the morning. I wake up and I use Google again. I say, Google, can't sleep, back pains, body joint aches, headaches, fatigue, STD, question mark. So now I'm watching YouTube videos, and I'm watching videos, and let me share the screen again. When I say I'm watching videos, I'm watching videos like this. Fair use, y'all. Fair use. 1 second. I'm watching videos just like this. Hold on, and I kid you not. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I have her video up, but Bianca. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Again, fair use, y'all. I'm watching videos like this. Hold up. Where's she at? Where's she at? Her short. Not that one. Not that one. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Bianca. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna share the screen real quick, y'all. So now I wake up and I'm watching videos to find out symptoms, right? And watch this right here. This is the first video that came up. Fair use.
This is how you know you have HIV, even if you haven't gotten tested for it. I've been living with HIV since 2019. One of the first symptoms that I experienced right off the bat before I was officially diagnosed was extreme fatigue. I would wake up in the middle of the day, sometimes at 1 p.m., and by 3 p.m., I needed to take a nap. And it wasn't like a 15-minute nap, it was more like a 3 to 5 hour nap. And then I woke up and I was still tired. The second thing that would let you know that you have HIV is if you have extreme and unexplained weight loss. Unless you're on Ozempic, there is no reason that you should be losing 20 to 25 pounds within 2.5 weeks. That is a big red flag. The third thing that you want to look out for is muscle aches. My muscles were always hurting. So much so that my coworkers at the club used to like sit down and give me massages, like my knees, my quads, and my ankles because I would just be in so much pain. But you want to know what else causes extreme fatigue, sudden weight loss, and muscle soreness? The flu, lupus, diabetes, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome, cancer, hypothyroidism, celiac disease. So honestly, there is absolutely no way to know if you are HIV positive unless you get tested. You might think you have HIV, but in fact, you have something totally different that does need immediate care. I hope that answers your question. Love you.
All right, so I, from whatever reason, didn't listen to any of the end of that stuff. I was so freaked out by the beginning of it, I immediately scheduled my appointment and said, yo, I need to get on this now because if I did have it, if I do have it, then if I don't get on this now, and it's been over the time that I need for blood testing to make sure it's okay. If I don't get on this now, it's going to be very difficult to function and keep things going with for my kids if I wait too long to not go get tested. So I did. Um, and after the test, I had already, because I kept watching these videos in my head, I had already accepted the fate. I said, "Yo, it is what it is. I got it. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to go and show y'all this YouTube world. I can still show y'all travel. I can still do stuff like that. I just won't be able to put it all on YouTube. Like I put my whole story on YouTube. I won't be able to do all that because it would do damage to everything I've done thus far. It wouldn't kill it because it's still hope, but I only created YouTube because I wanted to show hope to the hopeless. And if this is the end of my story, what some people could get confused on it, they would use it to manipulate why the story is not a way to go, versus saying, "Oh, this person just made a bad decision at this point in his life, and that caused him to go down this road." So, I was prepared for the worst, and I was driving in my car. I just got fixed my convertible 89 Mustang Fox body, and the doctor called, and I was like, "All right, doc. So when I start the regimen?" And he was like, "What regimen?" I'm like, the HIV/AIDS regimen. He's like, "You don't have to start the regimen. You got a non-reactive." Like, what do you mean? Because they sent it in the mail. It comes to your my chart, to like your email where you can check the test results. But I'm like, if for certain test results, the doctor calls you. So when the doctor called me, I never looked at the text. I didn't want to see it for myself. I wanted to at least have the doctor there when he called me to tell me, "Yo, come in. We'll discuss the how to move forward." So when he called me and said I was non-reactive, my heart dropped, y'all. My heart dropped. But I realized I'm not in control all the time, and you'll never be in control all the time. But I need to take some steps to make it so that I can be in control some of the times. And that's when I decided to start taking PrEP. Now, the way it works with my doctor is that I had to come, and every 3 months I got to get blood tested for HIV and for AIDS, because that's the only way they're going to re-up the PrEP. And for those that don't know, PrEP does cost, the official PrEP generically costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. Um, so uh, so I start my PrEP regimen soon, and I think we're going to end this live here, and we're going to start another live so we can bring Ice City in, and then we can talk more directly about um, what the doctor said about my PrEP regimen, and more, and the options he gave me of taking the PrEP. We'll talk about the cost of the PrEP. What PrEP is I'll tell you now, but we'll talk about it again. PrEP is the drug that protects you from HIV. It doesn't mean you can go raw on everything and still take PrEP, but it gives you a 99% chance that you won't catch HIV if you have sex with somebody with HIV. Normally unfortunately it's an anal thing, because most HIV is caught through the anal thing, through the anus. But because the anus is the most HIV, they haven't really seen any tests where it was a man that caught it from a woman during vaginal intercourse. But we'll get more into that when I bring iCity up. I appreciate you guys with this conversation. I just wanted to be full and transparent. I told myself two things. I said, if there's any chance I don't have HIV and I don't have AIDS, there's two things I'm going to do. I'm going to break up with my married woman because it was hurting me more that I would have to tell her and it would ruin her life. Because I love her. And I would have this conversation with you guys because I think there's nobody else in the travel community that's going to do it. Because the stigma that comes with talking about HIV and AIDS. So I hope y'all guys got some information out of this. Again, we will start another live soon. I just got to organize it so that we can go live with iCity 510, and just stay tuned. Give me like 10 minutes, and I'll be back live, y'all. I couldn't get all to the messages, but I hope you guys I hope you guys said some stuff that can help other people out. It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel, and we'll be back in like 10 minutes. Let me just try to figure out how we can set up the stream with iCity. Peace. Figure this out.